Remember Elizabeth Smart, the Utah teen who was kidnapped from her home when she was just 14, held prisoner for 9 months and repeatedly raped along the way? Brian David Mitchell will be sentenced next week. He was convicted of carrying out all those heinous crimes. Hear what Smart actually says about Mitchell.
Have you forgiven him?
I certainly have moved on with my life, and I don't dwell on it, and I have forgiven him. I have forgiven him. I don't think that means that I would invite him over to my house to stay, but that is a part of my life that I lived. I've been there, and I have a lot in front of me that I haven't lived yet, so I'm looking forward to.
So attorneys for Mitchell say he should get a lighter sentence because of the way she's handling herself. They say she doesn't appear psychologically damaged. Our legal guys are back. Avery Friedman in Cleveland, Richard Herman in Las Vegas. Oh boy. Okay, Richard, you first on this one. Because she appears to be intact, that's enough for the man convicted of raping her, abducting her, to get a more lenient sentence?
Isn't it ironic, Fred? Here she is trying to rehabilitate herself, move on with her life, and not allow this tragic event to ruin her. And she vocalizes that. Well, the government wants a life sentence. But in order to get a life sentence, they have to rely on the sentencing guidelines, which bumps that enhancement for his sentencing to life. And in order to get that, you have to prove extreme psychological damage. So the defense is arguing she doesn't have it. She's rehabilitated herself. She doesn't have that level of psychological damage necessary. That's the argument, Fred.
So, Avery, would that be a successful argument?
Oh, it's a terrible argument. The only argument they have, this beautiful, miraculous recovery of this extraordinary young woman is being perverted and distorted by the defense team and suggesting that somehow she hasn't suffered. She has suffered unspeakably. Now, the good news is that Dale Kimball, who oversaw this, the federal judge for 5 weeks, knows what to do. The sentencing is Wednesday. Goodbye, Mr. Mitchell. That's
and
the
that
end.
word recovery, I mean, you really don't know whether she's recovered because she is articulating herself in a certain way. I mean, it seems, boy, it seems pretty hard for her and the family. Her dad says this is outrageous to use that kind of vernacular from the defense. All right, let's move on to the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver case, because little dribblings come out every day. And now we're talking about the case of, Maria Shriver hiring a fairly well-known celebrity divorce attorney, Avery. And so clearly the couple probably had prenup agreements before they got married, but the wealth changed over the years. They've been married for 25 years. And isn't California kind of that 50-50 state? After 10 years, usually the wealth or the assets get split in half. Would that apply here, even if there were prenups?
Well, ordinarily, the prenup will expire after a certain period of time, 10, 15 years. They've been married 25 years, Frederica. But the fact is that it is, California is one of 10 community property states. That's exactly right. Look for a quiet, discreet resolution. The victims here, the children. In fact, I'm remembering, I think it can be done, and I'm remembering that you did a face-to-face with one of the children who talked about her struggle.
With Catherine Schwarzenegger.
And the fact is, that's exactly right. And the bottom line is that's the motive, to do this discreetly, carefully, thoughtfully, and it minimize the visibility, which of course is highly visible now.
Interesting. So Richard, I don't know if there would end up being a bit of a custody battle, at least over the two younger kids. I don't even know if that will be an issue that Arnold would try to pursue.
No, I agree with Avery. It's going to be resolved behind doors. But Fred, at this point, Maria Shriver has not said she wants a divorce. So,
that's right.
She's got to get to that stage first and want it. But potentially community property, if he gave any money to this mistress of his, that house, 50, 60, whatever, half of that's going to be Maria's.
Oh my gosh.
And Avery's right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, real quick, because he had some other productions that were to be underway, but now he's kind of backed out of that. You wonder if, any of those movie houses will be able to pursue something against him if there were terms or agreements that he would be involved in the Terminator or other things. And that's been put on hold.
No, they're not going to draft him
that's
for
all,
that. They
that's
want
all
him.
agreed. That, right.
Go ahead, Richard. Sorry.
Yeah, they want him, Fred. They need him for
Yeah.
Terminator. But isn't it funny? One of the movies was called Cry Macho. That was the title of one of the movies that's on hold right now.
Okay.
I don't know. Pretty stupid guy, Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
Pretty stupid.
You can't suspend an existing contract. There's going to have to be some negotiations.
Okay.
You can suspend the proposed one, not the existing ones.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, Richard Avery. Always good to see you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, Frederica.